Okay, ladies, listen up. One thing you need to understand is that men get a rush of dopamine, okay, when they are speaking to women on the phone. Yes, it releases that happy hormone. And when that happy hormone is released, it tricks the man's brain into thinking he's achieved something. It's a reward. He's conquered something. What does that mean? You are speaking to this man and he feels like he has already got you. He gets so much validation from that. This is why you don't get into these texting sessions with men unless they are planning dates.
I wish I could help you here, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, I know, right? It seems like if you actually talk to a guy and openly communicate with him and let him know that you're interested, he might actually be interested back. But as we all know, it's the man's fault for not doing it for himself. He needs to trick himself into thinking that he actually got you, so that means he actually has to call you and once again put in all of the effort for a relationship that's all but doomed to fail because you're focusing more on how you can trick this guy instead of actually letting him know that you're interested in him, because that actually requires effort, and as we all know, putting in effort into making something work hurts a modern woman's fifis. Besides, if you were actually putting in the effort to call him, then that would rob you of your time to actually look at this guy's text and just apply emotions to words that aren't really there. I mean, think about it. How many times does a modern woman read a dude's text then automatically get angry because she's forcing emotions onto a text that aren't really there? It's practically the baseball of modern women.
You do not pick up the phone. You do not have late night conversations. And when you're having late night conversations with people and getting into these long-winded texting sessions with men, and then you finally meet the person and there's nothing there and you have nothing to say. When people get too much of something, they no longer want it. Now, your job as the woman is to keep the man hooked and excited and always keep him in that curious mode. He needs to be curious about you. He needs to be learning about you. He needs to be studying you like you are this subject.
No.
Okay, so if I'm understanding your advice correctly, it's just to have the woman do absolutely nothing and make the man do all of the work, because if she actually communicates with him, then she'll run out of things to talk about when he finally gets around to taking her out on a date. Yeah, that's a good plan there, sweetheart. You are putting way too much thought into this. All you have to do is let a guy know that you're interested, see if he wants to go out, meet him for a cup of coffee, and see if there's any conversation there. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult. Modern women go out on dates with Jed all the time, and the first thing they talk about is how great the conversation was. But this so-called advice of yours isn't going to work, because all you're doing is telling women that men need to put in more effort to show that they're interested in you before you feign interest in him, because it all hinges on whether or not he's willing to buy you dinner. Now, there's no way that you can make this man curious because you're not saying anything. You're just making him do all the work. And if you want to make a man curious, you're going to need to try a little bit harder than not at all. But as we all know, a modern woman has absolutely nothing to say, which is why she will always force the man to do everything.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
She's a 32-year-old spinster and started going to the gym in the evening, and this is what I have figured out, and I'm giving you this nugget of information, and you can thank me at the end of this video. The men there are very attractive. I am not going to the gym to look for a date. I'm literally going to the gym because I'm fully bored, okay? So I'm going to the gym. I'm lifting heavier now. I'm lifting longer. I'm getting better workouts as opposed to working out in the morning when the cardio queens are there, which is fine. I'm just not a cardio queen. I'm a weight girly. So I'm going in the evening. Men are attractive. There's like 3 influencers that are in the gym when I'm there, and I'm like, don't look at me.
I can still see it when I shut my eyes.
You're not supposed to look directly at it.
Well, what a scoop! You mean to tell me that there are attractive gymfluencers who go to the gym after work to record their content? Well, color me shocked. We better get the New York Times on the phone right now so they can cover this. I mean, they are so desperate for content, I'm pretty sure they would be thankful. I can see the headlines right now. Attractive men who work out go to the gym to work out. You are truly onto something there, sister. I mean, there is no chance in HE double hockey sticks that any woman who goes to the gym will actually see that, because as we all know, modern women who go to the gym and dress provocatively do it for themselves and for the confidence, and not to try to attract these good-looking men who go there regularly to work out. Society owes you a debt of thanks for this groundbreaking information there, sister. I mean, whoo boy, you truly do have the integrity of a 21st century modern journalist right there. I'm thinking this could be a series, even though I'm not really going to read it because it's obvious.
I am a thumb. I'm fully a thumb. However, I leave the gym. I make a full-blown dinner that is like healthy after the gym. I take a shower. I'm like calm. I do a castor oil pack. I'm like, wow, she is wholesome. Wholesome. What am I doing tonight? Exactly that. And guess what today is? Friday. I need a social life, but it's fine. I'm fit.
Congratulations!
Okay, so what exactly do you want to be thanked for on this one? Because all you have done is talk about how you saw hot guys at the gym and how they weren't looking at you, so you went home to cope by taking a shower, cooking yourself dinner, and having absolutely nothing to do on a Friday night. So thank you for the information? I mean, lady, you're a loser. It's okay, there's plenty of you to choose from. You throw a rock, you're gonna hit 5 modern women who have no social life. I mean, yeah, be proud of the fact that you're fit, but like, who cares? You're not saying anything that people don't already know, and you're acting like this is somehow groundbreaking information, when all you've really done is tell everybody your coping mechanisms. Now, you're trying to say that this is all wholesome, but there's nothing really wholesome about it. It's just vain and uninteresting. Nobody cares about your nightly routine, nobody cares that nobody's checking you out, and nobody cares that you're a 32-year-old gym rat with no life. It's pretty much standard practice for modern women nowadays, so thanks for nothing.
You're boring! You're fucking dull! You have nothing to say! You are a one-hived mind twat waffle!
My frontal lobe developing taught me that just because a man is messaging you back in a normal time frame, he is not your husband. He is just literate. Like, let's raise the bar a little bit. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh my God, he planned a date. He took me out. Okay, congrats. He's 30 and he can make a reservation. He's messaging you good morning every day. Okay, Siri can do that. He's calling you beautiful. Okay, I mean, you are. That's the reality. And it's literally just an adjective. I think what I'm trying to say is that let's not reward fish for swimming. Like, that is the bare minimum. He needs to do that. You know?
Translation: some girl that I harbor deep and bitter resentment against has met a nice guy who's openly communicating, planning nice dates, and complimenting her regularly. She has found a man that I desperately want, but instead of actually trying to reflect on what I can do to become the type of woman that a man would actually want, I'm going to use twice as much energy to passive-aggressively talk smack about her while failing to hide my bitter jealousy that another person I know is successfully navigating the world of human pair bonding that I am actively trying to destroy. Now, I could just mind my own business, but I need an excuse to justify gorging an entire can of cake frosting as I watch yet another series of reruns from The Real Housewives of Skid Row as I vicariously live my life through an insufferable actress as I bitterly wish the entire world would change so I don't have to. I find it a better use of my time than actually putting in the effort to be worthy of a man who'd actually treat me with dignity as I constantly take the path of least resistance as I trick myself into thinking that the next bad boy I sleep with will magically change to be my future ex-husband. On a scale of 1 to 10, how close am I?
I was having a really hard time accepting the fact that I needed glasses, so I've been in a mood the past few days. Then I realized, oh my God, these glasses are just gonna add a little bit of oomph to my, you know? And then I thought, oh my God, this is a perfect video idea. I give them on skeets all over the glasses. My face shot afterwards is gonna be, so I'm really not sad anymore. Stay tuned.
That's it. That's your fantastical achievement.
Well, good for you, lady. I mean, way to reach for the stars there. I'm sure selling your soul and the dignity of your entire family was well worth the pennies that you receive on a monthly basis. Anyway, good luck cleaning all of that DNA off your glasses. I couldn't care less. I got more important things to do, like answering questions from the bounty board. The Danish Viking asks, Dear Locke, Do you think modern women turned out the way they did because of a sick alien joke that went too far, or future invasion plans made easier by a lower population? Well, that's an awfully good question, and it actually comes with some fascinating backstory. You see, Sector Sigma's got a lot of crazy traditions. For example, if you're showing up to a business meeting to discuss business things in a business setting, you are under strict obligation by the Intergalactic Bro Code to offer the other person either a pallet of bauxite or a stack of silver dollar pancakes. Now, contrary to popular belief, the stack of silver dollar pancakes is a bold business move, but it's also kinda risky. You don't mess around with pancake craft in Sector Sigma. It's just not done. The best way to make a good first impression is just to offer the guy a pallet of bauxite. He'll know what to do with it. Because if you offer a mediocre stack of pancakes at a business meeting, well, let's just say you've doomed your entire planet to an endless barrage of plasma blasts until the end of eternity. But bauxite? Well, that's just the gift that keeps on giving right there. But by far, one of the most sacred traditions of Sector Sigma is the dare. It's one of the most sacred rights of the Bro Code. If you dare a man to do something and he chickens out, then he's forever branded a drut, which loosely translated means a cheese-reeking coward who refuses to do something stupid for the benefit of the populace, so therefore he's not only weak, but also a humiliation to his parents, as well as to the entire race of dudes. His mother is ashamed of him, his father secretly wishes to disown him, and any children he bears shall be ashamed of him. And, well, to be fair, it's actually a lot longer than that. It's about 6 paragraphs at least, but for the sake of brevity, that's more or less the gist. Now, if you think these dares would be embarrassing, nothing could be further from the truth. If anything, they're an honor. There's just something about doing something silly that makes a man feel good, and there isn't anything that could perk a man up quite like a good old-fashioned dare in Sector Sigma. So anyway, modern women ended up becoming the victim of one of the biggest dares to ever go a little bit too far. It all started the same way most of Sector Sigma's dares start, with the loss of an arm wrestling match. On this fateful day, King Petroleus of Garaxlium 7 challenged the rebel knight Silcum Yagorlium to unarmed combat. They were originally going to settle their differences with a good old-fashioned sword fight to the death, where the man who died would be the winner. Don't ask me how that works out, you kinda have to be there to understand. But at the last minute, they both had to opt out of this fight because they both had stuff to do the next day, and being dead would be a massive hassle, and yada yada yada, so arm wrestling it was. Now, the rebel knight was no pushover, but the problem was he never really got out all that much, so he never really learned how to arm wrestle. On that fateful day, he immediately lost when he ripped his arm out of his freaking socket because he was under the impression that the arms would literally wrestle of their own accord. It was an honest mistake, and everybody had a good laugh. It wasn't that big of a deal anyway, he just needed to wait a few weeks for the arm to grow back. So he decided to bro out and do what bros do, and the king noticed that Yagorium was feeling kinda glum, and King Petroleus really felt bad about it all. So to perk him up, he gave him a fun little dare. He dared the rebel knight Silcum Yagorlium to go find a planet and trick the women into willingly setting their bras on fire. Now the king thought that the rebel knight would just go down to some planet and trick everyone into thinking that their world supply of bras were infested with a breed of bra bugs that would feast off of their epic boobage, and they'd have to burn their bras out of medical necessity. You know, like a normal bloodthirsty rebel knight. But that's not what we got. What ended up happening was one of the biggest series of hold my beer that's ever been seen in the universe. It started off innocent enough. Yagorium went to planet Earth in the 1960s, and he chose San Francisco because he figured that he'd just get a whole bunch of hippie women to burn their bras, and that would be good enough, which makes sense. Hippie women were so emotionally unhinged that it wouldn't take much to piss them off, so he told those smelly leeches that bras were somehow an oppressive tool of the generation that fought a world war, which led to every single comfort that they took for granted. And it totally worked. He used the female hive mind against itself, and the next thing you know, you have a slew of militant feminists setting their bras on fire. With the dare completed, he returned to Sector Sigma with his head held high to a group of buddies who were congratulating him on a job well done. He kept his honor and was the toast of the bros. There's the problem. At the celebration, some random Yulgarian rock titan told him that there was no way he could ever top that, and without hesitation, he keep with the next step of his dare. By the time he got back to Earth, it was the late 70s, and he started his patented whispers by convincing these bra burners that they now needed to do an about-face and invest money into bra technology, shoulder pad suits, and to enter male-dominated fields so they can earn their own money and prove themselves to the world about something that was never really an issue in the first place. And the aftermath led to smaller families and a massive cost of living increase. He introduced Lilith Fair to a bunch of 90s chicks, and he preemptively upped the ante by pitching Sex in the City to HBO. Now, you'd think this would be enough for a guy, and he kind of agreed. He'd proven his point, kept his honor, and now it was time to just kick back and celebrate. He was celebrating his victory at a bar by drinking an inhuman amount of beer and was chatting up a woman when he started talking about the patriarchy. Now, this isn't what you think. This was a totally innocent conversation. He was drunk and in the mood for a patriarchy, which is one of the best hot sandwiches in all of Sector Sigma. If you've never had yourself a patriarchy, then let me tell you, brother, you're missing out. It's got 3 different kinds of meat, potatoes cooked 3 different ways, 4 fried eggs, 3 different kinds of mustard, fried up in a paper sack and served with a side of slaw. Damn good eating. And it's just a coincidence that the best patriarchy makers are women. And he might have told this to an angry 38-year-old woman who had just broken up with her 4th boyfriend that night. And then the very next day, through no fault of his own, the wall on Facebook ended up going online. Then hashtag patriarchy became a thing and never really went away. So it was really just a classic case of bad timing. And we all know what happened next. Earth succumbed to the insanity that this guy created, birth rates plummeted, and the Western world has never been more divided. So yeah, Earth is pretty much screwed. And when the Rebel Knight returned to Sector Sigma, he did not receive a hero's welcome. We all just kind of looked at him as if he went too far, and he felt like a jackass afterwards. But in retrospect, that's only really half true. His love of sandwiches may have lit the match on the complete destruction of human pair bonding, but at least he was not responsible for Taylor Swift. You guys did that all on your own. So he's got that going for him, which is nice, I guess. Hope that cleared it up for you, Danish Viking. Appreciate you asking the question, and I just want to extend a heartfelt welcome to the Bounty Board, and of course a special thanks to all of the members of the Bounty Board for helping to make stories like this possible. Gentlemen and gents, you're making my dreams come true every single day. Thank you so much. All hail! And if you're interested in getting a story just like this, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where I have a special tier where you can ask me any question you want and I will make you a segment at the drop of a hat. And of course, you can always support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and doing all of the things. I hope I've earned your subscription today, so let's get back to the cringe.
So me and all of my brand new girl best friends, we got together on the last TikTok. We chatted in the comments. And we've decided we would rather be at home in a peaceful environment than out in the streets dating. Do we understand that? When all of the men say, where's all the good women? Like, where's all the good girls? I'll tell you where we're at. We're fed the fuck up.
All right. Lady, we're a bunch of certified gents. We're not into appropriating the culture of modern women. There aren't a whole lot of men out there recording embarrassing TikToks of themselves asking where all the good women are at. That particular ball we left in your court years ago, and we're not picking it up. You're trying to tell yourself that by voluntarily opting out of the dating market, that's somehow gonna make us think twice about you, but nothing could be further from the truth. We couldn't care less about you. If you wanna stay at home and not deal with men, then stay at home and not deal with men. But none of this is really necessary, lady, because we all know the truth. Yeah, you'll stick with this plan for maybe 3 days at the absolute best case scenario, then you'll get bored and lonely and you'll re-download the dating apps for the umpteenth time in hopes of getting some male validation, and then when you don't get it, you will go onto TikTok and then whine about how you can't find a good man, and then we're just gonna be sitting at home chilling out playing video games, and we're just gonna be snickering to ourselves as we try to hold the urge to say I told you so.
We are fed the fuck up, and we've made a decision to stay home, inside our home. We've chosen peace over dating. Just letting you know, the girls have spoken. So the next time you ask, where's the good girls? We're at home.
Oh, I'm so scared.
So let me get this straight here. You're fed up over the fact that you can't get Chad to commit to you, so you're blaming us for your life failures. And now that you're aging out, you're trying to flex on us by saying you're just gonna stay at home because you're fed up with all men, even though you've only been dating men of the top 5%. Yeah, we're not taking that blame, sweetheart. That one is all on you. You like to think that you hold power over men because you pack a slimy, hollowed-out cave of never-ending stenches betwixt your legs, but nothing could be further from the truth. We don't care what you do with your life or your time because we've already seen you waste all of it. When you say that you're fed up and you're going to stay home, all we're thinking is good riddance to bad rubbish. Now, if you truly do find peace by living a life of eternal solitude, well then good for you, whatever works, but most of us, yeah, we're just too busy living our own lives to care. Men got fed up with modern women and chose peace by walking away from dating years ago, and you're now just showing up to the party now? Oh, lady, be ready for disappointment because that's all you're gonna face for the rest of your life. And that's going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.